Namaste. We are here with our fourth video in the series Patanjali Yoga Sutra Simplified for Common People. In this video, we are going to see a few sutras from the first chapter of Yoga Sutras, Samadhipada. Samadhipada, as you know, it describes the goal of Yoga Sutras. Also, it describes the roadmap to the Yoga Sutras. In the last video, we saw one sutra. We are going to do some more discussion on that sutra and see two more sutras. First is Yoga Chittavritti Nirodha. Yoga is arresting of thought waves. The second is Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam. And then the seer gets established in its own nature. And the third sutra is Vritti Sarupyam Itaratra. Otherwise, when thought waves are not arrested, it is sort of merged with the seer is merged with the vrittis. Let's start with the overall context. The overarching aim of the Yoga Sutras is to remove the pain and suffering from life permanently and replace it by bliss and peace. This happens, the bliss and peace is reached when you unite with your soul. You join with your soul, the Atman, the Purusha within you. This in turn happens through the act of Samadhi. Samadhi is intense, complete concentration, merging with the object of concentration. The Samadhi is accomplished when there is awakening of true knowledge called Viveka. Viveka is a special knowledge, discriminating knowledge, a knowledge with differentiating ability. This knowledge gets awakened when you stop your chitta vrittis, the thought waves in the mind. So the whole process starts with chitta vritti nirodha. You stop the turbulence of thoughts, imaginations in your mind, and your special knowledge, viveka, will get awakened. You will be able to see the reality. And through then concentration and meditation, you will achieve the state of Samadhi. And when you achieve the state of Samadhi, uniting with your soul happens and permanent bliss and peace is obtained. So vrittis are at the root. So why? What do the vrittis do really? The thought waves, the vrittis, are all about worldly affairs. And worldly affairs are all about short-term pain and pleasure. How to get pleasure and how to remove the pain. And they are all short-term. Your mind gets so engaged in that it cannot see what lies beyond. Beyond these vrittis, these thoughts, these short-term pleasure pains. Beyond lies Atman, the Purusha, unheeded, unnoticed. Such is the power of vrittis that you don't realize that there is an Atman. That's why it is necessary to stop the vrittis. How vrittis operate? I can give you a simple example which perhaps will make things clearer. Mind is like a lake having water. Now in this lake, due to the breeze, there are waves. Now when waves are there, can you see the images and reflections of the objects around the lake, the cloud, the sky, the trees, the bushes, the flowers? You cannot. The moving water will show you moving images. Their boundaries will be sort of half merged with each other. So you don't get to see the things as they are. Not only that, you can't see your own reflection. You are also an object. You can't see the bottom of the lake. The bottom of the lake is too far. So much water is moving on top. And perhaps at the bottom of the lake, deep down there lies the Atman. So that's how the vrittis are operating and interfering with your path to realization of Atman. So what is required? Stop the waves. Stop the vrittis. Stop the thought waves. Stop the mental activity which is preventing you from seeing the images clearly. Now when water becomes still, the thought waves are stopped from the mind, the actual water waves are stopped. All the objects, you can see their images very clearly, their boundaries are sharp. You have a true knowledge of things as they are because everything is separate. You are able to discriminate between each and every image. And not only that, you are able to see the bottom of the lake, your own reflection, everything. So that's why they advise stopping of vrittis, so that you are able to see the sharp boundaries, see the images, the reflections as they are. True knowledge. So in a way, knowledge is awakened by stopping of the vrittis. How true knowledge gets awakened, I'll give you a mundane example from mundane life, not quite in tradition of the lofty yogic knowledge, but let's see, there is a person who is going to retire and he is worried that my income is going to be zero. Now let us see how his friend, he is questioning him and taking him to the knowledge of reality. So your income is going to be zero. What is your income today? 100. So you get to spend 100? No. I pay 30 tax. So 70 is left in your hand, you spend? No. I pay about 20 towards provident fund and all. So it's only 50. So 50 is what you get to spend? No. I forgot. I also contribute towards the superannuation. So that 10 also goes. So you are left with 40. You get to spend 40. Actually, no. This 40, out of this 40, I do some investments for tax saving purpose. I do some investments for my long-term purpose. They are about 10. So what you get to spend really is 30. Correct? Actually, no, I pay a house rent, house loan installment of 4. So I today get to spend only 26 and this installment will stop soon after my retirement. Okay. So this is your spending 26 and it's now going to be zero. No. With all my savings, all my annuity, all my provident fund, and after taxes paid, I am going to get about, say, 20. So 26 is your current spending power and in future it is going to be 20. So it is not 100 and 0. It is 26 and 20. That's the reality. The fellow was suffering more in imagination than in reality. And the reality was 26-20 and not 100 and 0. That's the role of awakening, of discriminating knowledge, the differentiating knowledge between what is permanent, not permanent, what is real, what is not real, what are the worldly affairs and what lies beyond. All this is part of that. So now we come to the next sutra, you will understand. Tada means when the vrittis are stopped, drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Drashta is the seer, the knower. So the seer, the knower, the Atman is established in its own nature. Till then it is not. Getting established in its own nature, you are able to see the boundaries sharply. The Atman is not merged with anything. That's the rule. And otherwise what? Otherwise, vritti sarupyam itaratra. When it is, vrittis are not stopped, the Atman, the Purusha, is sort of merged with the vrittis. And we saw that. The vrittis keep your mind so engrossed and engaged that they do not allow you to see what is beyond. They distort your instrument of seeing the image. They distorted the lake waters. Suppose you are seeing something in the mirror and the mirror has got irregular surface. You can't see your face as it is. It will be distorted. Why? Your face is as it is, but your instrument of seeing, the mirror is faulty, and that's why you are not able to see the things as they are. So vrittis make your instrument faulty, instrument of seeing. What is the instrument of seeing? Chitta. Seeing is knowing as per Indian darshanas, and chitta is the instrument of knowledge, and that gets distorted with the vrittis. You have a camera, and if the camera lens has got dust all over it and you are trying to capture an image, will you get an image which is clear, sharp as it is? No, because the instrument of capturing, instrument of seeing is clouded, shrouded. So vrittis cloud your chitta, and a clouded chitta then cannot perceive the Purusha, the Atman, and you cannot obtain the bliss. And vritti sarupya mitratra, as if merged with the vrittis. Let me give you another example how it happens. Take a perfectly clear paperweight of glass or a crystal, perfectly clear, clean glass. Now keep it adjacent to a colored object, say flowers or a colored background, and what do you see? Color in the paperweight. It looks as if the paperweight is colored, the crystal itself is colored. So this is vritti sarupyam. The color is the vritti, the thought wave. The crystal is the mind, or this, it gets mind or the Atman, which is appearing as if merged with the color, the vrittis. So that's the role. So today we have seen these three sutras, the role of vrittis, how they interfere, and when the interference stops, what happens? Actually, see how beautifully Patanjali has mentioned. First, you must stop the vrittis. This is what you have to do. If you do, this is what will happen. Drashtu swarupe avasthanam. If you don't do it, vritti sarupya mitrapta. This will happen. So very clearly and precisely he has given. I am reminded of a technique we have used in the failure investigations. The technique was called FMEA, failure mode effect analysis. That if the failure happens through this way, this is the effect you will see. If the failure happens through that way, that is the effect you will see. If the failure doesn't happen, this is the real picture. So that's the logic of Patanjali, and that's how the Yoga Sutras are very clear. I hope you have understood the video, and in the next video we will see some other sutras. Till then, happy learning.